here on earth. What Susie wishes for March, that no mistakes so terrible it cannot be rectified. Rectified meaning transmuted, meaning repeated, an ongoing cycle. So this mistake cannot happen over and over and over again. In the world we live in, we don't know too much about what's a mistake or what's not. It's like mistakes are meant to happen because they're available. So if it's access to making these mistakes over and over again, how can you actually learn from your mistake if you don't know if it was a mistake to begin with? Chapter 19. Hollis has begun to have his dream about the horse again, and that awful dream that always wakes him in the middle of the night and leaves him out of breath and sweaty and ready to run. He supposed that you cannot really murder a horse. That is something humans do to each other. You kill a horse just as you would a cow or a sheep, but somehow it's not the same. It's uglier. It gives you nightmares year in and year out, and maybe even for the rest of your life. If you are going to do it, Hollis knows, do it speedily and in the dark. Plan it out carefully and be aware of what hours the groom and the trainers keep. Make certain to go half of your money up front to get half of your money up front, and be sure it's a great deal of money. After all, the owner of a dead racehorse stands to collect a bit of his insurance company. Quite a bit from his insurance company. That's why he's paying you. All you have to realize is a single delible fact. Just because you walk away after you've paid doesn't mean you won't be dreaming about it afterwards when you're no longer as hungry as or as young. So that kind of brings up the idea of what guilt can do to kill your youth. You may be very full of life, as long as you're full of life, you feel like you feel young. That's what youth is having no guilt, having no shame, having no doubt, having no guilty conscience. When you have a guilty conscience about something, that's why you tend to age more faster than anyone else, because you have so many secrets bottled up inside that's just killing your youth, eating at you, because you have done something shameful, such as killing a horse. Here's the thing about killing a horse. It screams, its screams are far worse than any sound that a man can produce. Any sound a man can produce. Wear earplugs. Work fast. Be sure you're done and over the fence before they realize they're paying. It's a lot of money for someone with no education and no training and no heart at all. It's a small fortune. If you can stand the way they scream when you shatter their cannon bones and knees with a hammer or a wrench. When you start to have when you start to have hold on when you start to have had hold on when you start to have had dreams, go back and ask for money from the owners. Don't call it blackmail. It's simply an extra payment for a job well done. After all, the horse wasn't running well, and that's what such horses are meant to do. Invest your money wisely in land and condemnation of the market. Sometimes when people commit something that's bad or they commit a murder, they tend to use an excuse, oh, they wasn't, they wasn't built for this. They were crippled. Something about them just wasn't working right. So why does that make it right for you to murder this horse? just because it's not giving you what you need, just because it's not making that money for you, just because it's not out, you know, it doesn't have all this energy to do what all the other horses are doing. It's not giving you what you need. It's not making, like I said, it's not making that money. So that makes it right to kill this horse. That's like saying, this cow isn't producing enough milk, so I'm going to kill it. This chicken is not, or this hen is not, it doesn't um it doesn't isn't it isn't fertile, it isn't fertile to where it's giving eggs. It's not giving me any eggs, so I'm going to kill it. What makes it right for anyone to take a life because what it's not giving for you? Maybe God didn't create this hen to produce egg. Maybe this hen is there just to be. No one knows the reason why God puts life on this earth, but that's not for you to make that decision for God to take his life because of what it's not doing for you. It's not meant to do that. But that's what humans do. If it's not working for these humans, or it's not working for, you know, in a way that people want it to work, that they make that decision, I'm going to kill it then. What's the use? That is one. This is one This is the one he always dreams about. The last one in Miami. A job so botched the owner never collected, even though the horse had been a Preakness winner and was insured for 2 million horses have hotter blood than hold on. It was insured for 2 million horses to have hotter blood than humans. That's what Hollis believes. And he was so covered with blood by the time he was finished, he had to stand in the shower for hours. And even when the cold water was a pale remedy, the horse, a white thoroughbred, had refused to go down. Hollis had blood under his fingernails and all over his boots. 2 weeks later, after he headed back to Massachusetts, he was brushing his teeth in the bathroom of his rented rooms over the Lion Cafe when he found horse's blood in the rim of his ear. So he was trying to scrub off his sin. He was trying to, you know, wash away the memory of what he had just done. He killed this horse that wasn't meant to be killed. Sometimes when something is so hard to take out, it's not meant to be taken out, but they do it anyway. And now you're left with the nightmares, and you're left haunted by the spirit of nature because you touched something and you killed something that wasn't meant to be killed. So now he is dealing with this. A single red thread which couldn't tie him to any crime and could easily be scrubbed away with a damp washcloth. Yet, hold on, and yet that Marks seems to have been a curse. He still does not like to look. He still does not like to look in a mirror for fear he'll see blood, and to this day, he despises the color red. So later on, going forth, this is just a part of the chapter that I'm on. Forth, Hollis steps in, and well, everybody starts turning away from Hollis. March steps in. Okay, so everyone starts to turn away from Hollis. They're not paying him any attention. They're not paying him any mind because of what he's done. He's not shameful enough to realize, what you've done is wrong, to realize that you've made a mistake. So everybody's just, turning the other cheek. They're not looking his way because he's not feeling that guilt. Well, he is feeling that guilt, but no one else sees it. So later on, he reaches out to everybody, but they're not paying him no mind. And this is when March steps in. March is a friend. March has been around Hollis for a long time, so she kind of see him for in a different perspective than anyone else. She sees him as though he cannot be wrong. She sees him as innocent because she has this perception of him because he's been around so long. So then, he's invited to a dinner, but and they're talking about, maybe he'll eat away his justice. He'll eat at his justice and this and that. And Hollis is like, they see this way. They see this. They see me in this way. They see me in this light. What I look like sitting at y'all dinner eating, and I know, you know, what y'all thinking about me. When I'm sitting here eating y'all food. So March is trying to convince him, no, Hollis, go ahead and eat. I see you for what it is. I see, your mistakes, and you're okay in my eyes. So she's trying to convince March to eat, but March is not eating because he's feeling guilty, but at the same time, everyone else is looking at him in shame, and he just can't take it. He's overwhelmed, by the wrong that he has done and of killing this horse. Um, at the same time, it's like March loves horses. She actually has a horse named Tarek. So it's like, um, if I was Hollis, I would question, like, why are you so nice to me? You actually like horses, and I'm the one that actually killed the horse. Why are you so good to me? But sometimes a person just has that place in your heart, and even though you might question why they forgive you, it's kind of like you side eyeing, like, hold on, why? But only March will know why she still looks at Hollis in this way, and she's showing him a little bit forgiveness of what he does.